Welcome to Part of My Imagination. I'm Imagination, and you're the Imaginers. Welcome if this is your first time. I'm Jasmine, and welcome back if this is your second or third, or however many times you bring yourself back. Hello, welcome back. Okay, the next couple of books, and by couple I mean a lot, that I'm going to be talking about are books that I either haven't started and want to finish, or have started and need to finish for the rest of the year. So let's just get into it because I don't got all the time in the world. I need to be done. So let's just get into it. All right. So the first book that I want to finish is To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. I started this series. I can't remember if I started this series this year or if I just started it. But I do plan on finishing this series. And this book is pretty much about this girl who, when she fell in love with somebody and then fell out of love with them, she wrote them a letter. She didn't send the letter, she just kept it. But somehow, some way, those letters get sent out to all the boys that she wrote them to. And it's just her dealing with the consequences of these letters getting sent out. I didn't really enjoy the first one. Love the second one. So I'm just ready to finish off this last book. And it is obviously a Netflix adaptation. So if you want to read and watch the movie, or watch the movie and read, do you, boo-boo. Alright, the next book that I want to finish is Beast Made of Night by Tochi Onyebuchi. Read this already. Need to read the second one. And this one is pretty much following this man who, there are these group of people who eat sins, and when they eat the sin, it is tattooed on their body. Well, this man, the people that eat these sins, the tattoos fade over time, where his tattoos do not fade. And it's pretty much following this character who ends up eating this really big ass beast from the king and gets put on this assignment afterwards and all this stuff after they fucking try to find him and they think they're trying to kill him and shit. So yeah, I really enjoyed this book, and I believe it has African folklore in it. So the next series that I want to finish is The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. I have read the first and second one. So The Raven Boys and the Dream Thieves, I believe. Yes, The Dream Thieves. That is the second book that I read in the series, and I really, really, really enjoyed this series. It's super whimsical. Like, it just has like a pinch of magic in the modern times, and it's amazing. And I actually got this book recommendation from Books and Lala, Kayla from Books and Lala. So go ahead and check her channel out. I love her so much. She's phenomenal. But yes, this book is pretty much about these 4 boys who go to this school, and they're called the Raven Boys. And there's also this girl named Blue who is in a family of psychics, and pretty much from the time that she was born, her first reading, and every person that's ever done her reading has told her that her first love, if she kisses him, he is going to die. And she ends up following into this group of boys and starts the liking of this boy named Gansey. And he's just like this off character. He's not like off in a weird way, but he's just like, he's super rich. And he's just looking for this thing. And Blue she is supposed to help him find these things. And they're interconnected and all of them. And it just has a touch of magic. And it's amazing. And I love it. And I just want to finish the series. I do have 2 books to finish, and that's cool, because we're going to get there. Alright, the next series that I want to finish is Sleeping Giants by Sullivan Neuvel. I've already read 2 of the books. I only have 1 more to go. The last one is Only Human. And anyways, this book is pretty much about this girl who was younger, and she's out playing, and she falls on this hole, and she falls on this big ass hand. And, time goes on and she gets older, she becomes a scientist, and she ends up becoming the lead scientist in the research for where this hand came from. And it kind of follows, like it's like in case files. So if you enjoy like the Illuminate files, it's not super multimedia, but it's torn in like interview style. It's really good. If you like science, you are going to love this book. This is like the definition of science fiction. Like literally, this book is so good. And if you like science, you're going to love this book. And it's just overall a good story. It's following her, and it's following a couple of other characters, but it's mainly just following the doctor and the discovery of this hand and other body parts, and like where the fuck this giant ass robot came from. So yeah. All right, I am on a V.E. Schwab. Like, I'm on it. I've already read one of her books, and I've read 2 other of her books. So technically, I've read 3. Can I count? Math. Anyways, I want to read Vicious by. Yeah, this is the first one. I want to read Vicious by V.E. Schwab. I need to start it so I can read Vengeful. But yes, last I checked, if I remember correctly, this book is about 2 characters who are pretty much cheating death, and then they get these powers, and then it's about like the idea of good and evil and their nemesis, and they're always fighting each other, and that's like pretty much all that I know about it. And I've heard nothing but amazing things about this series, and it's not even really a series, it's a duology, but I want to pick this up and read it. I just want to finish V.E. Schwab's books that I own, so I can pick up her other ones. Okay, as far as I'm concerned, I'm pretty sure there's only 2 books in this series, so I'm counting it as finishing. And that is Dread Nation by Ireland, or Justine Ireland. This book is pretty much set in the 1800s during slave time, and black people are pretty much, or I should say colored folk, because black and Native American and anybody else in between are pretty much still slaves. They're just paid slaves, and essentially there's a zombie apocalypse that breaks out, and pretty much black people get sent to these schools to become fighters and apprentices for white people, and they gotta kill the zombies and shit. And it's following these 2 characters, mainly the main character. She's like this badass, but she's super like hard-headed and hot-headed, so like it's a good fun-filled time. There's been some issues around people with this book. I haven't had issues with it. I really enjoyed this book, and I liked the colorism aspect of it. It brings in a new perspective of one of the main characters that I really enjoyed. So you should just read it for your own and not get your opinions from anybody else. I plan on finishing this series. I'm going to finish this series. Don't come for me because I should have finished it a long time ago. But yes, that is Children of Virtue and Vengeance by Tomi Adeyemi. This is the 2nd book in the Children of Blood and Bone series. And this series is following a girl who lives in a world that the king pretty much took away magic, and she's destined to bring magic back. I've already read the first one. It was really good. And it's following 3 characters. Well, it's following 2 main characters, and they're kind of just in a back and forth with each other. And the prince is on the run to find her, and she is running away from the prince to find the ways to bring magic back. And it dabbles in African mythology. It also dabbles in, people love to compare this to fucking Avatar, but I swear to God, it's like people act like Avatar is the only fucking series to deal with like elemental magic or some shit. Like, only Avatar is allowed to have airbending and fucking water bending, because God forbid anybody else do that and they're copying. But I digress. I'm just gonna finish the series, and I know people who said they were disappointed, but I don't care because I own it and I'm gonna read it anyways. All right, the next series that I'm trying to finish is Scythe by Neal Shusterman. I read the first one. I love this book so much. It was amazing, and I can't wait to read the second one so I can read the third one and just like bask in the amazingness of this series. And essentially, Scythe is about this world that pretty much there's no more death. There is immortality. People do not die. So there's this organization that was put in place called I can't remember what the organization is right now, but anyways, they pretty much glean people, and gleaning is supposed to stand for pretty much killing. They're killing people, but they're illegally killing people, and the only people that are allowed to glean people are the Scythes. And it's pretty much following this Scythe that takes two apprentices underneath him. Things happen, political shit happen, people die. I mean, clearly it's about a book of people killing people, but people are dying outside of. Anyways, yes. I love this book already, so I plan on picking up and finishing the other two. So just look out for that and keep me accountable. Alright, so the next book is Darken by Kristen White. I want to finish this series so much because I just need to know how Ladia is like the badass queen of badass queens. Like, hello there. Anyways, yeah, this book is about this girl I'm just going to read it to you. Wrenched from their homeland, ever since Ladia and her younger brother Radu were abandoned by their father to be raised in the Ottoman courts, Ladia has known that being ruthless is the key to survival. She and Radu are pawns in a vicious game, an unseen sword hovering over their every move. For the lineage that makes them special also makes them targets. Bum, bum, bum. There's like a description on Radu, but like, whatever. But there's some gay in this book. You know what I'm saying? There's some killing, political intrigue. I needs it, and that's all you need to know. All right, this book I need to read. I've started this series this year, and I need to finish it this year. Okay. That is the fifth season by N.K. Jemisin. She is the queen of sci-fi and fantasy. Okay. Literally, this series is so fucking good. Oh my god. It is called the Broken Earth series. So let me tell you what it's about. It is about this. It's following three people. A younger girl, a middle-aged girl, and an older woman. And they are all dealing with this power that they have. Now, in this world, the world breaks. Every couple of fucking 100 years, the world breaks. And it's starting out where this is it. The world is done. This is the last time it's breaking. It's not coming back. So, there are these people in this world that have a type of power to keep the world not all the way breaking, but it helps the world from breaking, and it stops like quakes and shit, and it can start quakes and stuff like that. And it's following a little girl who is dealing with just finding out that she has powers, and everyone in the village just wants her fucking dead. And she ends up getting taken to this school where they teach her how to contain her powers and pretty much become a slave to this school. Then it's following another girl who is she's already well developed, she already has her powers, and she is following this mentor who is a 10th ringer, and he's like the top dog of top dogs, and they have to go out to this town and solve this problem that's going on. And then it's also following this older aged woman who has powers and has always hidden her powers, and she is living in this village with her husband and their kids, and it's just following that story. And oh my god, that fucking plot twist. And I love the second one, the Obelisk Gate, and I need to pick this up. I just need to pick it up so I can know how it ends, because oh my god, the plot twist on the end of Obelisk Gate. I need to know what happens. Okay. The next book is A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. Like I said about Vicious, I'm just trying to finish V.E. Schwab books that I own. And I did read A Gathering of Shadows, so I just need to finish the last one, which is The Conjuring of Light. I just need to pick this up and I need to read it. So, if you didn't know what this book is about, it is about this man who can travel between 4 different Londons. There's Red London, Black London, White London, and Grey London. And each London has different characteristics. And he is the only one, he's called the Alatari, something like that. He's the only one of his kind that can, there's 2 other of his kind, but he's pretty much the last one that has this power to move between Londons. And some Londons have some power, other Londons don't have no power. One London is completely dead. And yeah, that's like pretty much the Londons. And he ends up falling into he's in one London and gets into some shit. And lo and behold, here comes this female character getting attached to him. Not in like a romance way, but gets attached to his storyline. And they have to solve some shit out together. And the first book I gave 3 stars because I thought it was so fucking boring. It took forever to get to the fucking plot. Okay? But I read A Conjuring of Light and loved it so much. Oh my god, that's everything that I needed in a series within that book. And I just need to pick up the last one so I can just know how it ends because I need to know how it ends. Alright, the last book is The Last Magician by Elisa Maxwell. I read this book a while ago and it was honestly so good. I was not expecting it to be as good as it was, but it just was. And I need to read the last one. I'm pretty sure The Devil's Thief. I'm pretty sure that's the last book in the series. If it's not, correct me so I can take it off this list. But right now it's on the list of it just being a duology. But, okay. Because I forgot the main character's name. Esta. There we go. The Esta. So, it's following this girl named Esta who has to pretty much find this magician. Say it with me. Magician. Okay. Jasmine. Cool. So, she has to find this last magician. She is traveling back in time to find this book that has stuff in it to help them fight this society that keep killing off of all these musicians in their time. And so she goes, because she's pretty much a time traveler. So she goes back into, she is a time traveler, but she can manipulate time to her advantage. So yes, she traveled back in time to find this musician, and she has to stay in like this old New York time, and I don't think it's New York. I can't remember. No, it is New York. Yeah, she travels back to New York, and she has to like get in with this gang to like find out where this book is, and like, love is happening, and love is in the air, okay? But ultimately, it's just following her finding the magician, and then it has the magician. I keep saying magician. It's following his storyline as well, and overall, it was so well played out. And the ending of the book, I was just like, what? All right, y'all. Those are all the series that have started and finished, and started and want to finish, or haven't started and want to finish. Wow. I have a lot of books sitting right there. So I got a lot of reading to catch up on. But that is all that I have for you guys today. Be sure to check out my description where you can find all these books that I talked about, as well as all the channels and videos that I discussed. If you like this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you didn't, imagine that you did and come back again. Until next time, keep imagining.